Hello and welcome to this wonderful repair edition of Take the Fear Out of the Gear with me, Mr. Chumley Warner.
And me, Jason Bangers. Keep tuned and have a look what's coming up. Mr. Chumley is going to put a light in his Space Echo.
It definitely needs one because it didn't have one, which is very unusual.
It don't work. So this is a lovely video of Mr. Chumley showing you how to put a light in a Roland Space Echo on your VU, and more importantly, where to get the power source from. Enjoy.
Here we are back in the workshop again. I don't know if you can see these, I've zoomed right in. These are little incandescent bulbs with a couple of leads coming off, and these are for the Roland RE201 Space Echo. They're 14 volts, 80 milliamps, got them off eBay, and the reason why is because my Space Echo doesn't even have a lamp in it. So we're going to show you, solder leads on there, use a lot of like heat shrink, make it all nice and insulated. Then we'll show you putting it inside the Space Echo. Right, so what we've done, got the bulb, we soldered 2 leads to the actual bulb, put some heat shrink over that so they don't touch, and then over all that we've just put an outer sleeve of green slightly onto the bulb, so that's all nicely encapsulated. I've tested it. So what we'll do next is we will open up the Space Echo and find where we need to put it. Right, so we've got the Space Echo. There's a bolt on this side and a bolt on this side, and these 2 little tabs slide out. Then underneath we've got 5 bolts, so we'll take all those out, then the chassis comes out of the Space Echo, and then we can have a quick look, see where the bulb goes. On this side, here's one of the tabs. I've unscrewed the bolt, and you just literally take the tab out like so, and the same on the other side. And then this little plate here, there's 1 screw here, 1 on the other end, and then that just lifts out. Right, yeah, I lifted that cover off and I've just zoomed in a bit. That is where the bulb goes. So it goes in from the top, there's the VU meter, it just sits there and illuminates the back of the VU meter. So I'll undo the 4 bolts at the bottom of the chassis, we'll get it out, and then we'll try and locate where the wires need to go. I asked an expert and they said it's where the solenoid, which I think there's a solenoid on this pinch roll wheeler, the wires from the solenoid go to the main board, and apparently that's where the bulb goes as well. So we'll have a look. Right, so we've mounted our bulb just behind the VU meter, and then these 2 wires, these 2 new ones here, the red and black ones, they come through, and this is the big solenoid here, and this is where you have to solder them. So the black one goes to the blue wire, which is the neutral, and the red one goes to the one next to it, the red wire, and they go up to the bulb. So what we'll do, we'll turn it over, switch it on, and see if we get the VU meter lit up. Right, I'll just show you quickly before we put it back in the case. Flick the switch and you can see the bulb is lighting up the VU meter. Brilliant. And these bulbs you can get off eBay, we'll put a link. They're 14 volt, 80 milliamps. So that's the bracket for the bulb, and this is the 2 red and black wires coming up. You can see the 1 bit of a heat shrink there to separate the 2 wires, and we put some green heat shrink. And what we've just done is just put a few layers of this heat shrink until it's wide enough, and then just push that into the bracket, and now it's nice and firm like that. So that's all you need to do. It's working brilliantly. So what I've done earlier is, you can see this stuff here, this is what we use, service oil Super 10, and we use the little pipe that comes off here, and then all I've done is on the little gaps in the pots, just 1 tiny little squirt on all the pots, and then sort of move them backwards and forwards. In the middle there we've got the switch, so again just move the switch, work the switch cleaner in, and then when this is flat, they're little pots that control different things. Like that one's intensity, and we've got a couple more down here. And what I literally did when it was flat on the bench, I just put like a little drip of the service oil in, and then just turn it with a screwdriver, make sure you put it back where it was, just a 1 drip, little turn, and that's all you need to do. And again, there's a pot here on the back which is the reverb level, just a little drip of service oil in there, and then just turn it very gently and then put it back to where it was, and that just means all your pots are nice and clean. These 2 grey wires are the reverb wires. I've marked one of them with a black dot. I'll show you in a minute the reverb tank, because obviously when you take them off the reverb tank you want to know which one's which. So I put a black dot on one side of the reverb tank, black dot on the wire, so when you put it back together you know what you're doing. The only other thing, I'm not going to do it today, but there's this switch here. This is the sort of slider switch that goes from high to medium to low out, but what's happened in the past is it's been knocked from the front, which has knocked the back of the switch out. So what I've just done as a temporary fix, a tiny bit of hot glue to hold it in place. But what I'm going to do is take the whole thing out, service it, and then put it back properly with maybe just a tiny bit of Araldite just to strengthen either side, but that needs doing. So that'll be on the next video. Well, I'll just show you this quickly. This is the reverb tank at the bottom of the box. As I said, I've marked that with a black dot, and that's got nothing. And then these two leads here, see, I've marked that one with a black dot. So that one goes there, other one goes there. This is quite interesting. It says manufactured by beautiful girls in Milton, Wisconsin. Right, we'll plug that back in, and then the Space Echo goes on top, and we'll give it a test. What we've also done, here's one of the original sort of thumb screws. Managed to get these off eBay. They're pretty similar. They're the M3 nuts, and I put 3 of these on to replace the 3s that are missing. So they fine. They go on there, they hold it down. They're pretty cheap. We'll put a link for you. So that's been done as well. So the only other thing, these two here are original feet, and on this side it didn't have any feet. So what I've done, I found the closest thing on eBay. Again, we can put a link. The rubber feet, they're 10mm deep, so they're the same as these. They're just a bit wider on the overall diameter, but it does sit nicely. So that just gives us 2 new feet. So when you put it down, it just sits correctly and doesn't fall over. So that's it on the Space Echo for the moment. So the service oil in all these pots has made them silent now. There's no crackling, the same as on the switch as well. VU meters lit up. So it's all looking good. And we'll see you next time in the workshop.
Good job, dude.
That worked out well.
Yeah, it did.
So we did a bit of servicing. What we should say, we found some more of the knurled nuts. You can get those off eBay. We found some feet apart from the bulb. Yeah, and we'll put all the links for everything you need.
How did you know where to get the power from for the light, for the bulb?
Oh, yes.
I have a clue where to have come off of. Was it 14 volt, 12 volt?
14 volt. 14 volt.
How did you know that?
Well, thanks to Shane at EchoFix, we emailed him. It's an Australian company. They specialise in space echoes, and he said you need to solder them just where the solenoid joins the board. So that's what we did.
Well, I wouldn't have known that in a million years. I'd never have. You'd have had to spend all day with a multimeter, wouldn't you?
And it's not in the service manual,
no.
So you'd never know.
Cheers, Shane. Good on you, sport. You're a good un. Well, there you go. Chumley's done it again, tubes. We hope you've enjoyed this edition of the Repair Space Echo from us here at Take the Fear Out the Gear. It's goodbye from me, Jason Bangers.
And it's goodbye from me, Mr. Chumley Warner.
Another one coming soon.